Go to Susan. Hi, Susan. Thanks for holding.
Thank you. Two questions, actually. We say that God sits high, looks low, he sees everything, and he has dominion over the affairs of men. But yet we say we have free will, and he would never take away our free will. So which one is it? God has dominion over the affairs of men, or we have free will?
Both.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very important aspect, that when you really understand our responsibility and God's sovereignty, of course, God is outside of time, so he knows every framework that's going to be possibly presented to us. So that doesn't remove us from the privilege of knowing him and to experience him and fellowship with him, which is God's heart. Now, the very fact that he's looking for for us in relationship, which is different than just the angels he created as servants. He's called us sons and daughters. So there's relational aspects there. You can't have a relationship with somebody that's just a mere puppet. So we do have free will, but God, is wise way beyond time, knows every one of our aspects. Now, someone could say, well, what if God didn't choose me from the foundation of the world? That nothing I can do will change that. So why should I even bother? I'd say, well, do you want to know him? Yes. Well, then ask him. Well, what if he hasn't chose me? Well, choose him, and then you'll know he chose you. Now, that sounds very convoluted, but the reality is, like when my heart is drawn to know him more, that is the Lord working in me. But I'm also I can also just quiet that voice too and do my own thing. So I believe it's really an amazing mystery that we have free will in relationship to God, because that's, I think, the genius. In fact, one person put it this way: every molecule in the whole universe God is in complete control of, but there's one place he's chosen not to control directly, and that is our will. And I think that's an important thing. Now, some would argue, no, we can't even have that. We can't even choose until we're born, we're regenerated. And they kind of twist the Bible where it says, believe in the Lord Jesus Christ and then be baptized and you're saved. They'll say, no, you got to be saved first, born again, then you can believe. And that, to me, just takes away the very foundation of what God has called us to do. Does that help, Susan?
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I kind of missed that. Can you say it again?
I said, thank you. I do have another question.
Okay.
We say that God knows how many days we're going to live, when we're going to be born, when we're going to die. So if a person does something to end their life, let's just say, is that something that was God knew in advance and it was going to happen, or was that just a premature death that wasn't intended to happen?
Well, God is not. God is his will is perfect, but at the end of the day, he is pleased. We can either please him or not please him by the decisions we make. And I want to please God. I want to do what's honorable to God. Are there times when I rebel and I'm stubborn and I'm not listening and I'm not reading his word and not knowing his mind, and I make some bad decisions and I suffer the consequences? Yes. So, but even in that sense, God uses even the worst that life throws at us, and sometimes even the discipline we go through, to do something deeper in us. So I do believe that, it's, right now suicide is one of those things that used to be like, if you did that, you committed the unpardonable sin. And the reality is, with a lot of the drugs and a lot of the things that are influencing people's lives today, I don't think that's necessarily the case. I've known a number of people who truly had a foundation with the Lord, went through some troubles, got talked into taking some medications that almost warped their brain in a way and put them in a vulnerable state, as some of those medications actually have as side effects, which is suicide. I don't think they're responsible in the end for that decision under the influence of something. But yes, God knows all things, Susan. If someone rebels against God, Judas would be a sobering case to look at. He, instead of coming back to Jesus and acknowledging he was wrong, he went out and took his own life into his own hands. And so I would rather have an assurance of salvation. Is it possible someone that have taken their life is saved? Yes, I do. But I don't know if they could have assurance if someone were to purposely take their life to be assured that are in heaven, that would be a big stretch.
But something like that, God knows about in advance. He knows how it's going to end. He knows what's going to happen to that.
Yeah, I mean that's the hard part about us understanding God's perspective.
Yeah.
Outside of time, we can't fathom that. But God is in all time at all places, and He knows the end from the beginning. Absolutely. But because I don't, I'm walking in time. My relationship with God is in time. I want to please Him this moment, and hopefully the next moment, and the next moment. But yeah, it's hard for us to comprehend outside of time, Susan.